Hi everybody, it's Laura. Welcome back. I know in my first video I had briefly touched on my diagnosis of Guillain Barre Syndrome, an autoimmune disorder, and it's so rare. 1 every 100,000 people get it, I think. It's actually starting to become more common. I don't know if I just didn't really pay attention before. Now I'm just hearing it more and more, reading it more and more, and the cause is still unknown. But today I'm just going to briefly talk about everything that led up to it, everything after I was diagnosed, and was diagnosed in February of 2014. And before that I was working full-time, I was going to school full-time, I was a dental assistant, and I was going to school for dental hygiene. Everything was normal. One day when I was at work, I just started feeling really sick. I felt dizzy, lightheaded, almost feverish, like I was maybe getting the flu or that feeling that you get before you get a cold. I was probably at work for an hour and I just needed to sit down. So I told my boss I wasn't feeling well, and he said, "Oh, you just take the day off and, go home and rest it off." So I went home and took the next 2 days off, and then once I figured out that I was just getting worse and I wasn't getting better, I went to an urgent care because my doctor at the time wasn't there that day. I shouldn't have even went there because they couldn't really give me any answers, and any answers that I want and all the tests that they did, I wouldn't hear back for like a week and a half to 2 weeks. And I'm like, I can't wait that long. I thought, I'd just rest a little bit more. And then I started noticing that my heart rate was starting to go fast. My blood pressure was high. I also noticed that my temperature was going higher. That made me a little scared, so I had a friend take me into the emergency room. They did some more tests, and they weren't really comfortable sending me home with how high my temperature was, so they decided to admit me. From there, I still was starting to get worse. It's pretty clear now that it was pneumonia, really badly in both lungs. And it was pretty scary because I wasn't responding to any antibiotics, and pneumonia is one of those things where you want to catch it and you want it to clear up as fast as possible. You don't want your lungs to fill up with fluid, and that could be deadly. I want to say a week into having pneumonia, I finally started responding to the right antibiotic that worked for me. They were doing breathing treatments, hooked me up to a CPAP machine, and just to try and clear up some of the infection that was in there. Once the pneumonia was almost gone, I started noticing some numbness in my face, just in my face. I thought maybe it was from the mask that they had on my face from all the breathing treatments. Well, I told doctors every time when they'd come in, or I told the nurse, and they didn't really seem too bothered by it. And a couple more days would go by, and then I started noticing that the numbness was starting to go down a little bit further onto my neck, like my throat. I was noticing it was becoming difficult to swallow. I couldn't understand why. It almost felt like I had something stuck in my throat, in the back of my throat, when I would try and swallow and it wouldn't go down. I got a little panicky, and I remember telling the nurse, and she called a neurologist, and I had never seen the neurologist before that day. Explained to me the diagnosis, explained to me what Guillain Barre Syndrome was. I had never heard of it before. And, I still was a little shocked and still very confused and scared about what was going to happen. And he explained what would happen. So numbness normally starts in the feet. It moves all the way up to your core and then to your face. Mine started with my face, and then it was moving down. So he was saying that mine is atypical Guillain Barre. And he had me sent down to the ICU so that I could be monitored more closely. I want to say within a few hours, my oxygen levels were dropping because I wasn't able to breathe on my own to have my levels be normal. They had to intubate me and put me on a breathing machine so it could help me breathe on my own. That is normal. That usually always happens to the normal cases of Guillain Barre. It's temporary paralysis. is another very common thing that can happen to patients. I didn't ever have paralysis. I could always move my arms, my legs, everything. It's just the numbness that I was experiencing. Put me to sleep, my face and my neck were numb, and when I woke up the next day, I was numb all the way down to my feet. And they had me on that breathing machine for about a week. And after that, they were able to take me off. So once they took me off of that breathing machine, I left the hospital probably in April. So from February, early February till the end of April, I was in the hospital. And they sent me to a rehab place just to do some strengthening with physical therapy and also occupational therapy. I had to relearn how to eat, how to talk, how to walk. And at that point, I still couldn't walk yet on my own. I could only transfer. I was just wheelchair bound. That was just the beginning of my problems. I had no idea what was going to be in store for me the next 12 months. I was only there for maybe 2 weeks. What happened is that I was diagnosed with something else when I was at this rehab place, and it was called C. diff, really bad intestinal infection. Common for elderly people to get it, people who are in nursing homes, people who are in hospitals for long periods of time. Very contagious. They shipped me back to the hospital. Almost had to have my colon removed because of the C. diff. Again, my immune system just was attacking itself. So not only did it attack my nerve cells, it was attacking my organs as well. Luckily, there was a procedure that was done to help clear up the infection. And it got better, so I didn't have to have my colon removed. So I was in the hospital again for a month after that. I went to another facility, and when I was there, I was having more pain again in my stomach. Looked at my stomach, and they used this machine to look at my gallbladder, and they saw that, my gallbladder was inflamed. And my gallbladder needed to be removed. So I had to go back to the hospital again and have my gallbladder removed. And I felt fine for a few days. Then my stomach was hurting again. To help with my pain, they were giving me pretty strong pain meds through my IV. And I really hadn't taken any strong pain meds before. I've taken, ibuprofen. I even have taken Vicodin before. But nothing like what I was given through my IV. I was taking Dilaudid, morphine, and eventually my body, which I didn't know, but my body was becoming addicted to the pain meds that they were giving me. No, all I wanted to do was not be in pain, and that's the only way I could get any kind of relief, just temporary relief. I was pretty much hospitalized for the entire year of 2014. I was just in and out of the hospital. Couldn't get a handle on things as far as my immune system, everything that was reacting towards my body. I lost a lot of weight because I was so sick all the time and throwing up, and I wasn't able to keep anything down. I was 165 pounds. I can't believe I'm saying this to everybody. Yes, I was 165 pounds, and with a span of a year, I went down to just about 80 pounds. I avoided mirrors for a very long time, and I didn't realize, how thin I actually was. I had to have a peg tube put in my stomach so I could get some nutrients that way on top of eating. Needed to have so many calories, and I just wasn't able to eat a lot of things because I couldn't keep them down because I was throwing them back up. And they could give me some tube feeding so I could get some extra calories that way so I could try and gain weight. I didn't really have a choice with getting the peg tube put in. My doctor told me, if you don't get this peg tube put in, then you're gonna die of malnutrition. It really did help me, and I really did slowly start gaining weight. Appetite got better, and I finally came home. Finally, I want to say it was the beginning of 2015, and things started looking up. It started getting better, and I was getting stronger. I haven't been back to the hospital since. I have only gotten better since. Now I'm at a healthier weight, and it's great. I'm glad, now that I'm thinking back on it, I still have good and bad days. Gotta be understandable, because when you go from being normal, healthy, and independent, and then overnight have it completely change the way it did, it's definitely made me a stronger person. In a way, it's kind of a learning experience, and it brought me closer with my faith, brought me closer with my friends and my family. No longer feel bitter about the whole situation. I don't have the typical case of Guillain-Barre. I actually, according to my neurologist, don't have anything going on still in my system. I'm just left with all the damage that was done initially. I've just adapted. So I get kind of self-conscious looking at myself because my mouth, it looks a little droopy, because, like when you go to the dentist, the best way I can describe it is when you go to the dentist, a shot in the mouth, and it makes your mouth feel like 3 times bigger than what it is. Well, that's what it feels like for me. And it's felt that way, since I was diagnosed. I walk short distances with a walker. For longer distances, I use my wheelchair. The best thing I can say is, no matter what, don't take life for granted. Live every day, to the fullest, because you have no idea what could happen tomorrow, what could happen hours from now. Really take care of your health, take care of your family, and most importantly, you need to take care of yourself first. You need to love yourself first, and then take care of others. You don't take care of yourself, and you end up getting sick, then you're not going to be able to take care of your kids, take care of your significant other. I always say the biggest regret in life are from the risks that you didn't take. I'm going to do whatever I can do to get stronger. I'm going to do whatever I can do to make my life better. I'm not going to let, my condition wear me down. I'm not going to let my condition, keep me from achieving my dreams and my goals. Important to keep a positive mind, and that's really what I'm trying to do. And that's really what I'm trying to inspire others to do as well. So I guess I should wrap up this video before it starts getting too long. But that's just a little bit about my story, and only part of my journey. So if you like this video, just hit the thumbs up button for me. And if you want to leave me any comments, let me know how I'm doing. I'd appreciate that. Or if you have any ideas of future videos that you'd like to hear from me. And like I've said in the last video, I'll talk about random topics too. I'm not just going to talk about, my condition, because that could kind of get boring. I hope everyone has an awesome week, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.